going, everybody? Thank you for joining us today on this Tuesday, 11th of June, 2024. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Pill.net.
And if you wouldn't mind, before we get started, taking a moment and hitting that thumbs up button if you're over on Rumble or YouTube, taking that red pill if you're over on Pilled, smashing that heart if you're on X. And remember, sharing is caring, and we love each and every one of you.
Yes, we do. We appreciate all of y'all showing up today.
Absolutely.
So,
oh,
look at you. There you are. You already got all the things done?
Sorta.
Sorta. All right. Got things done. Oh, there's Aaron. First comment in the Rumble chat today.
He's just going to keep rubbing it into F-Clan.
I know, right?
Got Chachi.
What's up, Chachi?
Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
Watch out for the frogs, Jenny.
I look forward to that every day.
I know.
I think it's just the frogs.
Steph.
Hey, Steph.
So how's everyone's Taco Tuesday going?
It is Tuesday. Are we having tacos today?
I don't know.
I don't know if I want tacos.
No, because we had tacos on Sunday. I don't know.
We did. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
Or Saturday.
What else starts
Whatever
with T?
day we had.
Tilapia? Tilapia Tuesday?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
That's a no.
It's an unclean fish.
Yeah, no.
May as well eat pork. But it's a bottom feeder. Eats all the crap.
Goodness gracious. Do y'all see what I have to put up with?
And you're happy about it.
104 here, sir.
Hot and sweaty.
104.
God, Aaron. 90, that's it?
Yeah, 90.
Oh.
It's whining.
I remember
it's
those days.
Jacket weather.
They were nice. There's Bethany Ann.
And Lightspear.
And Lightspear. What's going on, Lightspear? Hey, Bethany. A tad late. I don't think anybody's going to sue you about that.
No. Got Mikey in the house.
What's up, Mikey?
Got Tammy.
Got Tammy. What's going on, Tammy? Got F. Clint in the house. What's going on, F. Clint? On your way to Arizona, Aaron. Uh-oh. Better watch out, Aaron.
Yeah.
He wants to be first, something fierce, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Lightspear says they were given some garden corn on the cob, and that, however, you can eat corn, that it comes out whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, imagine that. Grow your own food. Well, and they got all this, like, you can buy the heirloom corn.
Corn, it doesn't matter. Whether you grow it or not, for some reason, it just does not digest.
Look, corn, think of it as a loofah. It's an internal loofah.
Okay.
And you can buy the fancy corn that has like all of the colors on one cob. I don't know.
F. Clint says you better count them chickens, boy.
Better count them chickens.
I love this family.
Gotta watch out for those dino chickens. Gotta get a head count on the dino chickens.
On the dino chickens.
Hmm.
Goodness gracious. Oh, goodness. No, be nice, boys. Don't make me send you to separate corners.
No.
Be nice.
Yeah, a loofah. Crack you up. No hunter pun intended.
Yes. Corn is a loofah. Santino has all these wonderful little...
It's a gut loofah.
things.
It's to clean you out. It scrubs the sides down. That's why it comes out whole.
Okay.
Did you know that the Native Americans, when they were starving, would pick them out and reuse them? They'd repurpose them. Hey, Denise. Terrible timing.
This is like TMI.
Look, it's just survival techniques.
Mm-hmm.
How bad you want to survive.
Mm-hmm. Not that bad.
Wash them off.
No.
In the stream.
Stop it.
Well, it's like, it'd be like Cope Luwak, but the corn version.
Well, it's been a great show, guys. Kay's going to go puke her guts up, and y'all have a great night.
Oh, stop. Look, I'm just saying what people have done in the past. It's not a recommendation. Sounds unhygienic.
Oh, Mikey,
Can validate.
Mikey,
Thank
do
you.
not ag him.
I just heard it. This is back when schools used to teach you things of value. You can tell because it can be used for a Jeopardy question.
You know what? Mikey can just come on here one time and y'all can talk about all the nasty stuff y'all want.
Not talking
and
about
I'll
nasty.
take a break.
This is about how bad things used to be. Aren't we happy that it's not like this anymore? Thanks to like Big Ag and making it so everybody can have corn without having to use reused corn. Anyways,
Yeah, you and Mikey can do this show.
whatever.
This weird show.
Anyway,
about
maybe
all
we
the
should
weird
move
stuff.
on.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It could be like if Trump does win and is elected, that riots just hit every street corner in this country. That could be one thing. And it could be
that
like
will
worse
happen.
than ever.
Yeah, that will
Worse
happen.
division and a real civil war. That could happen. It could happen the other way too.
Mhm.
It could be that we suspend the elections. Have you thought of that? Because that's one I think about a lot. That there is no election.
I think that given everything we've seen so far, how brazen they are weaponizing the Department of Justice, waging this lawfare, yes, of course, most prominently against Donald Trump, but they're also doing it very quietly against everyday Americans.
Oh yeah, grandmothers who are on the grass.
Exactly. Exactly.
Who
For
support Trump.
exercising their right to freedom of speech, freedom of expression.
They hate our civil rights, don't
Yes.
Well, just ours.
Just
Did-
ours.
They don't mind Antifa civil
Did-
rights.
Right.
Did that start
exactly.
with the Patriot Act? Was this like incremental, like in Nazi Germany? It didn't just start overnight in Nazi Germany. The first thing was
Yeah.
you had to register for a phone if you were Jewish, and every day in increments. And it seems to me like maybe incrementally, Trump might have stepped in and messed with their timeline a little bit for those 4 years.
Yeah.
And so they had to hurry up to catch up where they would have been if he hadn't been elected.
Yeah, there's certainly the uniparty of Washington
yeah.
of warmongers who they never hesitate to take away more of our liberty with the excuse that they need to do so in order to make us more secure.
Mhm.
And the Patriot Act was a huge turning point.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this. I get into this in detail in my book is they think that, well, all of this was necessary in order for us to secure our country and make sure there was not another 9/11 style terrorist attack. But the
And then there were
reality is
50.
the reality is though that
But
many
the
of
reality
those
is there were not as big as that day.
well, they were trying to pass these authorities to violate our civil liberties
Spy.
and spy on everyday Americans long before 9/11 ever happened.
Yeah.
And rightly enough, there were people in Congress saying, no, that's unconstitutional. That's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. We're not going to go for it. So they waited and bided their time. The terrorist attack happened on 9/11 and they saw, here's our opportunity. And they jammed all of this stuff in legislation called the Patriot Act and threatened.
Which is not patriotic at all. They
No, it's
always
not.
They always have the
Of course.
reverse.
It's marketing.
Of course, it is.
Yeah.
when
No.
when it's
But
doing
didn't
the
that
exact
suspend
opposite.
our Constitution in a way?
It had that effect, and they told people like Ron Paul and Dennis Kucinich and others who had the courage to stand up against it that you are traitors.
Right.
Anyone who votes against the Patriot Act is a traitor to our country who
That's
is
right.
inviting another 9/11 style terrorist attack into this country. And so they fear-mongered and browbeated and bullied members of Congress into submission.
Including Cynthia McKinney.
That's right. I think
Al
there was
Franken.
only one U.S. senator that voted against the Patriot Act courageously because he saw
Was
what
that Paul?
was wrong with it.
Who was that?
And wasn't that just
He was
all?
from the Midwest. I can't remember
I
his
thought you
name
knew.
right now,
It's
but
not important.
It seems to me like all of that Patriot Act shit was just a way to open the treasury to these warmongers. And it is the war party.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then they can just yeehaw, 3 billion went missing. You remember just before 9/11? I mean, they just stole everything we had.
and
they sold it.
They are still continuing
Yeah.
to this day.
You think they sold our secrets to China? They never got called on the carpet for any of it. They sold, they left our weapons in Afghanistan, and it's proven so many of those weapons were used on October 7th against Israel, which that was the subject and the context of my tweet that got me fired, was that the Iran deal was an existential threat to the people of Israel. And I knew it. I'm a Jew, so I study that part of the
Of
world.
course.
And of course it came true. And it's like they still go, oh, you said someone looked like a monkey. I mean, they're just their stupidity. It's irritating to me.
Well, their tactics, what they did to you is like the oldest tried and true tactic that they use, because they refuse to have a dialogue based on substance,
Mhm.
where you're making a substantive statement or an argument. They refuse to come back and say, no, Roseanne, you're wrong because of X, Y, or Z.
Right.
Instead, they resort to censoring, canceling, name calling, and smearing. And they do it, unfortunately, because it works.
It
Yeah.
sure does.
It
Works well.
works.
It
People
works for
believe it.
years. Yeah.
But
They're
this is where I have some hope that the tides are shifting a bit, because more and more Americans are turning off the traditional news
Yeah.
channels, whether they be cable or newspapers or
propaganda
whatever.
channels.
Right. And they are propaganda channels, and they're looking there are so many other alternative sources of information now, primarily through podcasts and
Mhm.
other things.
So, Santino,
Uh,
thoughts. And before you say, I still don't know how I feel about her, but
I
not
don't know how I
Roseanne,
feel
but
about it.
Tulsi.
Yeah, Tulsi.
But thoughts about this conversation.
It's so they bring up the good point that they've been like silencing people by, saying, why do you hate America? Because you didn't support, the Patriot Act, right? And people are waking up to that. Also, the fear of ostracization. Oh my God, words are hard today.
Words are hard today.
Yeah,
for
I don't know what's
you.
going on. Anyways, just need to warm up, I guess. But anyways, get ostracized because you don't fall in line, and they will make you a felon. But what they're doing is and that's by throwing you in jail. But the thing is they're threatening to throw everybody in jail for a felony, for not getting the jab, for not supporting this or that or the other thing. Obviously they've made Trump a felon 34 times over or something stupid, right?
Yeah.
So they're actually minimizing what the word means.
Mhm.
And so it opens up a different kind of conversation altogether. Oh, well, I'm a felon. Well, what kind of felon are you? People have to start asking that, because they're taking away the meaning. It's just like the meaning of any and every word that they've gotten a hold of. They minimize it, and they just change the meanings of everything. And so we're going to have this spot. And she fears like a lot of civil unrest. I believe that there will be some civil unrest, but I don't think it's going to be very much, because I think most people are going to be on the side of Trump, and people just get told to shut up. Just sit down and shut up. Like you're just
Yeah.
setting things on fire. We don't care about you anymore. And very few people are going along the lines of the Antifa kind of mentality, the BLM, because of the leadership within BLM. Homegirl got what, 4 mansions in California,
Yes.
millions and millions of dollars,
Millions.
and we're finding out that
millions.
all of these, community agitator kind of organizations are funded by the
Yeah.
deep state. And there's lots of payoffs. It's not as altruistic as they present themselves to
Oh,
be.
they're still trying to go after Trump. I don't know if you saw this today or not, but just, I'm working and of course I'm still looking at the news.
Mhm.
Eric Trump put out a tweet today, and he says New Jersey is wants to look at the liquor license for the Trump properties in New Jersey.
Pull the liquor license.
Because Trump's a felon. And he says Trump does not hold any liquor license, nor does he hold any stake in any of the New Jersey property at all. And then he said, P.S. ask me how I know. Because he does. It's Eric. But see, they'll just make some shit up.
So that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that seems to be standard fare. They create the problem, they make
Mhm.
things up, they pull stuff out of thin air, so that way they can try to, create a problem. Mikey says
Exactly.
Bernie has multiple mansions and expensive cars. Yeah, but Mr. Socialist himself,
Right.
driving around in a brand new Audi R8 when they first came out, when people couldn't get them,
Mhm.
he was first in line to get them.
Talking about socialism.
Talking about everybody was so everybody gets an Audi R8 now if that's what I wanted.
Is that what it is? Hmm.
So people are waking up to these kinds of
They
things,
really
and
are.
they're recognizing that
Mhm.
the principles that they use, and that's all they're doing is using the principles as a talking point, and people are recognizing that the principles make sense in kind of a thought theory kind of way, but these people that are actually professing it, that have the ability to get the message out there because
Mhm.
they're bought and paid for, then then it's all fake.
Yeah.
It's just to control people, and that's what it is. And even people on the left are starting to hate
Yeah.
Biden because they're recognizing that it's all astroturf, just like Nancy Pelosi
Right.
was talking about. It's astroturf. Well, other than the fact that they're the best at making astroturf movements.
Right. Over on Pills, Golden Crisp says he has hotels, he has a liquor license, not in his name. He's not running the businesses. It's Don Jr. and Eric.
Mm-hmm.
So no, he doesn't have a
he's
liquor license.
turning it over to his kids.
He's been
that are
turning
capable.
He's been turning it over to them for years.
Well, since he became president.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he never took it back.
No.
They're quite capable of running things for him.
Yes, they are. And more and more this is going to come out. They're going to try whatever they can, but it's all going to amount to nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. Fetterman and his wife were in a car accident, so they're hospitalized.
Oh God.
What's he going to look like this time when he comes out?
What's Fetterman, 7.0?
9.0,
9.0,
20.0, whatever it is.
Whichever Fetterman we're at now. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Wendy!
Hey, Wendy. Thanks for joining.
How are you doing, sweetie? You ready?
Yeah. Just drive on.
When God wants to make a man powerful, he always shreds him into pieces first. Never forget it's a process with God. Without pain, there would be no growth. So accept the pain. Embrace the pain. Because God is there to ask you, do you really want to achieve your goals? And when you start walking with God, people will stop walking with you. Not because they don't like you, but because you're about to sacrifice things they're not willing to sacrifice. And when God takes you to deep waters, not everyone will be able to swim with you. However, do not confuse movement with progress, because you can run in place but not get anything done. I want you to take a moment and think. Are you moving forward? Who are you taking with? And how are you making things better by God's given power? You have a gift. You were born with it. Now it's time for you to develop that gift. You need to do everything necessary to protect it, and then you share it. The process won't be easy, but trust in God's plan. Keep pushing forward and never give up. God bless you.
So thoughts, Santino?
It's part of the growth process, and it's said a million different ways, and it connects with people differently each time. It's communicated in a different way, and that is that we are going to go through difficult times. It's the difficult times are a necessary part of the process. We've talked about alchemy here a couple of times, and through the alchemical process, the allegory of turning lead into gold. during that process, there's there's different changes, different phases where that metal gets transmuted into something different. Actually, transmutation, I think, is only one of the 7 steps or whatever it is. But each time it changes its form completely every single time. And it's kind of like a caterpillar coming out of the chrysalis as it becomes a butterfly. It like when a butterfly goes into the chrysalis, it basically completely melts into goo at some point in time before it rearranges itself and turns itself into a butterfly, and then it has to fight to get out of the chrysalis. So each and every part of this is going to be, I'm assuming, not exactly fun, right? It may be painful at times. It may be some real difficulties,
No pain, no growth.
but that's part of the growth process.
Yes.
Growth requires something to change, and change is not easy. The only thing
Right.
that we can rely upon is the fact that everything is constantly changing. So we should
Yeah.
be changing as well. And we understand that it's not going to be easy, but these difficult things make the stronger version of ourselves. So that way we do have the ability, because when we were young and we had all of these gifts and everything about life just flowed nice and easy, and it was great and it was beautiful. And then we go through life and life beats us down, and we kind of shut our heart down quite a bit
Yes.
because of all of the pain that each and every one of us goes through. But as we go through this process to break out of those cycles of the pain and going through it all of the time, the repeating patterns that we put ourselves through because our ego put up these brick walls to protect us from the rest of the world, we hurt ourselves more. So we have to break down these brick walls. We have to go through these pains again, and then we get stronger. And as we get stronger, our heart is opened to making sure that we are continuing to share our gift, that we're protecting ourselves first
Amen.
on the inside, and then that greater version of ourselves after we've come out of the back end of all of these trials and tribulations is when we'll be able to share it with the world. Even though the world may attack us, we are still doing what our divine purpose is.
Yeah, you see what Mikey says?
Mikey says, if it was easy, everyone would do it. Ironically, I'm an organizational change manager. That's but the thing is to be an organizational change manager, you have to be willing to go take the licks.
Yeah.
If you're going to institute changes in an organization, organizations like to keep moving in one direction. It's like trying to change the direction on a ship, except for one that's trying to crash into the bridge in Baltimore. That one apparently changes pretty easy. But with that being said, the change takes some time, trying to redirect a train. It's not easy, but it can be done. And there will be
Exactly.
resistance.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
By the way, people are getting fed up with lies. You ready?
What? People are tired of getting lied to.
Yeah.
Huh.
I am so sick of this snot-nosed, booger-eating, lives off mommy and daddy's and the DNC's money kid running his mouth on the flippin' internet about Trump. Look, if this is true, John Kelly, I tried to look him up on the list too of people to be discredited because of accountability because of nothing with this Hunter Biden laptop story. If this is true, y'all got this man on tape saying, grab him by the view. I'll literally have proof of everything this man has said and done since the day he was born, or time travel, as some people say. Joke. Produce the tapes or shut the fluff up. It's word of mouth, especially your mouth, or anybody who submitted this letter on behalf of the Bidens to Congress, which I hope they hold all of you guys in congressional attempt. You guys face serious charges because you lied. It's a felony to lie to Congress about the Russian laptop story, says Russian disinformation. I'm going to keep putting this out there every video I make. The list of all 51 former intelligence officers. No wonder we lose every fucking war we get into. You guys aren't that goddamn smart anymore. Either submit the tapes or find a new fucking bush to beat. Beat the grass somewhere else to find a snake. Seems to be all the snakes on the left and a few on the right. Bzz. I was like, yo, laptop's bullshit. Check Exhibit 16, Hunter Biden's trial. Womp, womp. I'll be honest, I didn't really like the man that much, but I do now. He got a bad rap. Make America gangster again.
Thoughts, Santino?
I mean, Trump is making America gangster again.
Mhm.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
Let's see. So it's I kind of got lost a little bit there in the comments, but I mean, President Trump and Harry, he's been a paid troll forever and a day. I mean, who doesn't know? And that people,
Believe it or not, there are still some people who don't know.
what, that there's paid trolls?
Yes.
Well, and those people will eventually come along, but probably not anytime soon. With that being said, with the 40 some odd members of the intelligence community that wrote those letters, I do believe that that's treason. They should have known better. And why are they commenting on politics anyways? Of course, then again, they're commenting on politics, saying that somebody running for president is a paid plant for a foreign power, but that was also the Steele dossier, and the Steele dossier has been confirmed to be absolute and complete and utter BS. So what's the deal with these intelligence members of the intelligence community? And it's not like they were chumps within the intelligence community. There were some people there who really knew, were in high places, and they should have known better. So that list of people, that will be used against them in a court of law at some point in time, because we recognize all the lies. They're lying liars who lie, and they will continue to lie because they have no choice. They're backed into a corner. They've painted themselves into a corner, and now they just have to sit there and wait for I guess the proverbial paint to dry, so that way their time will come. It is coming. They're not going to get away with it. And that's especially because it is getting too big to rig. President Trump will be elected again for a third time. He will be elected, but this time they're actually going to have to admit. And this kind of touches on one of the things that was going on with the Roseanne and Tulsi Gabbard video that we were playing earlier. And that is it's too big to rig at this point in time. So they're going to try to do something. And they kind of touched on that, or at least I saw something in the comments about, they're going to try to basically declare a war or something, say we can't change the presidency, something like that. But at the same time, I still believe that they're going to do the 25th Article 25, I think it was, where they were going to remove the president because or 25th Amendment, because he's mentally not capable of doing this. That has been becoming more and more clear every day. And not only mentally, but physically. He can't go do a D-Day ceremony without soiling his pants.
I know.
So he's going to get removed at some point in time, and that's going to prevent them from being able to do the things they were going to do.
Right.
Also, a lot of people know that there were no new wars and that there was a lot of peace when Trump was president for his 4-year term. And so there will be peace again when he returns. And I think that that's something that a lot of people are going to be very aware of, especially as we get closer and as they try harder and harder to drag us into something, so that way they can try to use some kind of clause and declare martial law or whatever it is they're going to try to do. But it'll be a weak attempt, and nobody's going to really pay attention or do it.
Right. Denise says, some chucklehead said, nothing is too big to rig. Little do they know. And that's the thing, is so many things, so many people out there are just, whatever the mainstream media is telling them, that's all they care about.
And those people are finding themselves in a smaller and smaller
Mikey.
Minority.
This is elder abuse.
At this point in time,
It's sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
Mhm.
But I have a feeling that there's some karma there based off of the way he got to the top.
Mhm.
The old sniffer. It shows the people that are still supporting him.
Back.
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay.
Let's see. With Biden being so out of it, the people that are still following him clearly don't have the cognitive ability
Are we better
to
now,
recognize
guys? Can you hear us?
is back. Saying sound. We don't have sound, Mikey? Back. I have sound. Okay. Looks like we have sound again.
Okay.
All right. Interwebs. Hey, Agent Smith, what's going on?
Yeah, we didn't say
Thanks for stopping
hi.
by.
Hi, Agent
Um,
Smith.
Let's see. What was I getting at? Oh, yeah. With Biden, the people that are still going to vote for him are people that can't even recognize cognitive decline,
Right.
nor be able to understand exactly what is required for someone who is
Mhm.
the president of the United States. And so those people will probably have to have some kind of, I don't know, cognitive test of their own. How can you not tell at a certain point that this guy just is incapable?
That was not me, F. Clan. Thank you, sir. Brat. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
See? Apparently, they didn't want us to hear that part. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Seems like whenever you get over Target, that happens.
Well, that does happen.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
All right. Biden's
Here
latest
we
gaffe
go.
with the teleprompter. Oh, God.
you
Here
ready?
we go. Yeah, here we go.
Check out Biden's latest gaffe. Yeah, is it a good one? It's a beaut. Yeah, let's go to it.
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years.
Just read the teleprompter. You see him? 4 more years. Pause. Oh. Should have put above the pause, Joe, don't read this out loud. You would have read that. Joe, don't read the pause out loud. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's sad. Let's look at it again. And I was thinking this was AI. That's what I was thinking. But this can't be real.
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause.
He tried to play that shit off. He was laughing at himself. Yeah, he's like, oh shit, I read the. Yeah, he was trying to play it off like he's supposed to do that. You saw that, right? Tried to laugh that shit off. Good old Joe. Think the mainstream media gonna say anything or point this out? This is disturbing. This is the leader of the free world. This man has all kinds of signs of cognitive decline. Yeah. Yeah. One more time. Chief.
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause.
That was all choreographed. Who's gonna say that? And then the crowd was gonna come in and say 4 more years, 4 more years. Yeah. Everything's fake. Yeah. Some people would say the last election was fake. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Those are conspiracy theories. That was a conspiracy theory. That was a free and honest election. Yeah. That was a free, fair, honest election. Yeah. Probably the most secure election we ever had. That's what they say. Yeah.
It was the most secure election we ever had. They secured it for themselves.
Okay. Well,
They-
yeah.
They did an amazing job securing the election.
Exactly. And Denise is.
The world does see all of this buffoonery.
embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. Well, and then another thing I heard is it sounded like before Joe said 4 more years, it sounded like somebody in the crowd was already starting to chant 4 more years, but they realized they had jumped the gun and they stopped. Aaron says there are ads 200 miles from me for $28 an hour for paid community activists. That's pretty neat. It's good money. I mean, if you feel like selling your soul,
Mikey says he's going to narrate his actions from now on.
narrate your actions. Pause. It is a great word. Buffoonery is a great word.
That is so sad. It really is.
See, and then the laugh, and then we had the maniacal smile when they were asking him about Trump getting indicted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or convicted.
Yeah, convicted.
Yeah. So it's I'm kind of wondering if there isn't an actor there, because like somebody with cognitive decline, I don't know if they would recognize how funny saying pause was. I don't think that somebody would recognize at that like late stage in dementia and Alzheimer's that they would be able to recognize that they were doing something that they got one over on somebody. It's just kind of beyond me. So it kind of makes me
Right.
think that there is an actor playing Biden. But I mean, we've gone over that so many times.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
But these are the kinds of things that wake people up, just like the stuff with Russia. They really want to scare people. But
Dad likes our new background.
you like, yeah. Well, we went back to an old one.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Soros was paying $7,000 a week for Palestine college protesters. Man, $7K a week?
Wow.
Man, George, what's up, man?
Wow. I mean, that's a lot of money.
I mean, what? A couple months and you got your year's worth of bills taken care of, right?
Let's see. Denise says, I've actually gone to the other side on Joe actor. No one is that good. Maybe.
I think that there's multiples. I think that there is
I
multiples.
do. I
that
definitely
repeat the
think.
line.
I do think Jim Carrey is.
He did the falls.
I
Nobody
really
can
do.
fall upstairs like Jim Carrey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know who did butt chin Biden. And then we've seen that one actor.
Ball chin Biden.
Yeah. 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 Ball chin Biden. The Balchinian Biden.
Hey, Carol.
Hey, Carol.
So you ready for Gene Ho?
Yeah. Haven't seen
Let's
Gene
do
Ho in a
it.
while. Like him.
Hey friends, this is a little bit more of a serious TikTok post, and this is also for the TikTok moderators, kind of like an open TikTok for them, and also for some, not all, but some in MAGA. All right, TikTok, please don't take this down. By the way, as soon as I post this, it's going to be halfway around the world in Telegram and True Social. So please do not take this down. Also, I defended you. It's not a good look. I really defended you when it came with all this stuff with Congress. But this is what I want to tell you. Okay, this over here, that is my official TikTok. All these other ones are imposter sites. So that's me, and the rest are imposter sites. And normally I wouldn't even care, because I figure that if it's getting the message out, even better. However, here's where the problem comes in. All these other people are grifters because they're using my likeness and my videos. And what they're doing, though, is they're DMing people, pretending to be me, or some of them are. And they're saying, oh, I'm sick. I need medical expenses or whatever. Could you help out? And that's what's going on, and people are getting hurt that way. So if it's possible, could you do what True Social did and just give me a simple check mark like you do with every other person's? And that way people could tell which one's a fake one and which one's a real one. However, there's also another message, and this is for some of the people in MAGA. Okay, this is grifting. Now, some in MAGA, not all, but some have been psyoped into using this word grifting and applying it to some of the people in the movement. Let me tell you something and why it's wrong. Because there's a lot of people in MAGA very upset, by the way, that there are legacy media, fake news, whatever you want to say, and you don't like them. But at the same time, they've used this word grifter to stop and shame people like me and other people from actually engaging in commerce. By the way, I guess you guys know this. I'm the editor-in-chief of George Magazine. It's at georgemagazine.com. And yes, we give information. We sell some magazines. And some of you guys know that I was Donald Trump's personal campaign photographer. By the way, Donald Trump also engages in commerce. He has very beautiful hotels, very expensive, by the way. You could choose to go there or not go there, but that's not grifting. Everything that we're doing, we want a more robust patriot community, not a less one. And some have been psyoped to tell other people, oh, you're grifting. You shouldn't be taking money. But money is capitalism, and that is what United States of America in part is built on.
So thoughts, Santino.
So I've been getting like requests, like apparently Gene Ho has followed me on like 8 of his accounts on
okay.
TikTok.
Okay.
And I haven't followed a single one of them back.
No way.
I'm kind of skeptical, right? I mean, I talked to you about that. It's
I
like,
know.
what is this? And yeah, it's like at first it's kind of like you're hoping that it's actually Gene Ho who's following you, but then deep down
Yeah.
inside we all know that it's probably not. Now, with that being said, that happens to a lot of people. I know that I've seen fake shipwreck accounts. I've seen
Mhm.
fake Red Maven accounts. I've seen all sorts of fake accounts from huge creators,
Yes.
and it's disheartening because you
it's
recognize, especially
Yeah.
with the amount of times that they've purged a lot of the creators. And I don't begrudge somebody trying to make a couple of bucks off of this whole thing. In the end, it takes up time. We do an hour and a half to 2 hours here, but that doesn't mean that there's not, many other hours spent, when the show's not on, looking
Yeah.
for, what's going on to try to get an idea, get your finger on the pulse and understand what it's going to be about. So, I mean, I don't begrudge people trying to make a buck off of the whole thing. So yeah, grifter gets thrown around quite a bit. And then the whole patriot thing depends, what is that person doing? Are they trying to just sell products and merch? Are they willing to compromise on anything to make a couple of bucks? I would have some issues with that. But people just merely trying to, get information out there and hope that people are going to buy something, I really don't have a problem with that per se,
Right.
because it takes time, it takes money to do a lot of this stuff. Now, with that being said, the actual grifters, and I'm glad he gave that definition, are the people who are trying to get a grift off of somebody else's hard work, somebody
Right.
else's efforts that are put out there. It's theft, and that theft is a real problem. It's people not being who they are, and they're not trying to spread any kind of real information. I mean, they might by chance save a video that Gene Ho did, and Gene Ho, might have had some videos taken down, but it stays up on one of these other fake accounts. So we might still get to see some of the things. So by accident, they might provide some value. But with that being said, if TikTok and all of these places that have been banning people weren't, silencing people trying to speak, then that wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Right.
So they create their own problem, and with that problem, they create hundreds of other problems, and it's going to come back and it's going to bite these organizations in the ass at some point in time, because eventually something better is going to come along, and people will bail out. It's just like Twitter, just like Facebook, just like MySpace. Just like AOL, something better came along and people decided to move on to that because they got fed up with the crap that was going on. And I know that there's constantly different kinds of applications or whatever that are coming along. Look at Rumble. Rumble came about because of the problems that were being created on YouTube.
Yes.
Right? YouTube's still around. YouTube still has lots of great stuff, but at the same time, Rumble never would have been created if it wasn't for the shenanigans that YouTube was doing.
Right.
So, and everything is subject to entropy and decay. And I think that goes with websites as well. That goes with these communication sites. Like I said, AOL. Who uses AOL anymore? Yeah, there's still some people that use AOL mail or whatever, but AOL is not what it was.
No,
No,
not at all.
not even a little bit.
Mm-mm.
Right? Because
I think some people do still have mail.
yeah, I think they still have the mail, but I mean, you're not going into, I don't think there is such a thing as an AOL chat room anymore. No. Yeah. So it's all going to change, and we'll just see all of these changes continue to happen until there's, some kinds of mass media kind of websites or apps out there that start providing what the people actually want, which is a place to kind of be themselves and connect with people of a like mind
Yeah.
without jacking with the algorithm to put people in these little cages that they have a tendency to put people in, and that the better content would necessarily rise to the top because people are making something that other people care to see.
Right.
Yes. Aaron says at Santino, entropy and decay. Yes, when something is neglected, it is recycled. Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing is you got to use your discernment on everything, you know, because these people will send you stuff. You think, you know, that they're really gonna follow you and stuff, and the next thing you know, they're asking you for naked pictures, you know, and it's like, I don't have time for that. You go away.
I mean,
We'll get blocked
you've
in
been
a second.
you've been courted by lots of doctors. Yeah. I guess that works for some people.
Yeah, not for this girl. Very happy with my husband. Thank you very much.
Sometimes, most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Exactly, Denise. A whole bunch of weirdos.
It is a bunch of weirdos, but that's what the internet is. It's a whole bunch of everybody.
Well, there's that.
And I'm sure the algorithms could certainly, they could be able to recognize a scammer when they see it, and they could stop that.
They could
real
if
fast
they wanted to.
if they wanted to, but it's part of how they want things.
Exactly.
I'm sure there's money involved somewhere.
You know there is.
Just a guess. Just a guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a guess.
You ready?
Yeah.
Got some information on Fanny.
Big Fanny Willis.
Big Fanny.
Take Mr. Steele into custody, please.
Yeah, but the court wanted me 1 moment to confer with counsel regarding the appropriate remedy in this type of
Okay, all right. Yes, sir, you certainly may.
Mr. Williams does not wish to go forward without me being here. You are removing me against his will, my will. You're taking away his right to counsel. And you're conducting material parts of this trial without me present, and I can't learn about it by watching online. So for that reason, additionally, I asked for a mistrial. I assume you deny, but I'd like you to deny our motions for mistrial. You deny the other one.
I deny your motion, but I'll certainly take that under advisement, sir. We're going to be in recess for the next 5 minutes.
Hey, y'all, I'm traveling right now, so I apologize. I know the quality of the video and the quality of the audio is not great, so I'm not in my home studio. I hope you will forgive me, but this is, I mean, you know, the news never stops, and Cash Money G's Fulton County is an absolute mess, and I can't help but think it's got something to do with her. It just does, you know. Wherever I've worked, I've been around this planet for a very, very long time. I've worked pretty much every job. I mean, from corporate to public sector, private sector. Whenever there was a corruptive or corrosive entity or force anywhere in the building, it seemed to, and nobody really nipped that in the bud, it seemed to kind of seep into every artery of the organization. And I just can't help but think this is the same situation. What you just saw right there was attorney Brian Steele, who's been doing this for over 30 years. He's got a very reputable track record, career, and credibility as an attorney. And this young thug trial that's been happening in Atlanta, we have to talk about this because it's Cash Money G news. So the judge presiding over Young Thug, we did a video on this too, the racketeering trial, held the musician's attorney in contempt on Monday after being confronted. I'm going to play you this video too. Stick around. It's insane. Heated exchange. Wait till you see this. Private conversation held between the judge, prosecutors, and a state witness. Brian Steele was escorted out of the courtroom after refusing to tell Judge Ural Glanville, who has really, I got to be honest, in all my years of witnessing anything of this nature, I've never seen a judge act seemingly so unethical, unprofessional. It almost seems like we've kind of been, these words, these adjectives have just become run of the mill, anything related to Fulton County. The way that he's been conducting this court, the way that he's been handling this case has been so, to me, absolute amateur hour over and over and over again. So after he was escorted, basically he was refusing Judge Glanville on how he learned of this meeting. I'm going to play that video in just a second. But this is just insanity. I can't believe that this is what's been happening. You know, this young thug who's a musician, prominent musician, this young thug trial that's been happening, you know, it's been even more of an absolute.
I have part 2 and 3.
Oh, God. Are we playing all of these?
Mhm.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Train wreck than the Fannie Willis disqualification hearing and her attempts to charge former president and 18 other co-defendants with election interference, when exactly that's what they've been doing. That's what they've been initiating it. So he was held in contempt. He was escorted out. Now I'm going to play for you the video of how this all began. Wait till you see this. I am going to show this for you, and just wait till you see this, because this is wow. And we'll talk about it.
Go ahead. The way I understand my constitutional obligations, pursuant to the 6th and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution and corresponding sections of the Georgia Constitution, I'm required to make a full and complete statement to the court. For the record, and if God forbid this goes up on appeal for the appellate courts or another tribunal, commission, or administrative body, I was told, based upon information and belief, that when we arrived at 8:30, 9 o'clock today, he did not come into your courtroom until almost 11:30. And what I found out just recently, this is not waived, is that supposedly in chambers, this honorable court reporter at times, honorable court at times, district attorney or district attorneys for the DA's office, as well as investigators, sheriff deputies, Mr. Copeland and his counsel met together. None of the defense team, to my knowledge, was aware that this was going on. It was told, based upon information belief, that it was told to the district attorneys that Mr. Copeland intended to plead the Fifth Amendment. Then I was told, based upon information belief, that Adrian Love, the lawyer for Mr. Copeland, and this court were together, and Ms. Love made representations that John Melnick supposedly spoke with some attorneys for the accused and wrote an email to Ms. Love, to Adrian Love, stating that Mr. Melnick does not represent the witness, and that Mr. Melnick wrote an email saying F you, and then somehow that email was CC'd to me. That never.
Mr. Steele, can I interrupt you for just a second? I'm kind of disturbed because that's ex parte. All that was an ex parte conversation. How did you find out about any of that?
Well, I'm disturbed too. And the reason
I'm asking you a question. How did you find out about it?
I'm going to answer your question.
Okay.
Scuttle, if you look at SCUDDER versus state, which is 298 Georgia, 438, it's Division 2, 782 Southeast 2D 638, 2016. Our highest court says when a court meets, because Mr. Copeland comes in, meets with the court supposedly made statements, which I assume is somewhat accurate based upon what you just said. We're entitled, Mr. Williams and every other person wrongly charged here is entitled under the Georgia Constitution to be present. That's a critical stage.
It's just like when you meet with me, and you and Mr. Adams meet with me, and others have met with me. It's those are ex parte for a lot of different other reasons, but I will certainly note that for purposes of record.
Well, I'm going.
Just really quickly, what he means by ex parte is that one party is not present during a communication, you know, with an actual judge. And what that kind of means from a legal context is that essentially what that means in a legal context is ex parte communications are generally prohibited because they can undermine fairness and impartiality in the judicial process. Exceptions might be made in urgent situations, but such communications are typically highly relegated. Here we go. Let's continue listening to this.
Going forward, what I was told was that Mr. Copeland said,
and you haven't answered my question yet.
I'm not.
How did
answer
you?
That question.
All right.
Last one.
Part 2.
Part 3.
Part 3 is coming. Yes. All right. Are we ready?
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
You're not.
No, I will not answer that.
Why will you not answer that question?
Because I want to make sure that what I say is accurate, and I'm not trying to.
I'm asking you, how did you get this
I'm
information?
not telling the court. What I'm saying is based on information.
Okay, well, listen, if you don't tell me how you got this information, then you and I are going to have some problems.
We can have this. I have problems right now.
Okay, I know. Look, I don't want to know about your problems. Okay, at this point in time, all I'm asking you at this point in time is, how did you come upon this information? Look, if the case gets reviewed, the record's going to be available for our appellate court and for whatever reason. But it's disturbing that somehow you have surreptitiously gotten information in regards to the court's private ex parte conversation with a party. I mean,
A
yes.
witness who was sworn in Friday. The court's telling. This is what I was told. If this is not true, not true. This court
Mr. Steele,
handed
ask
Mr.
me.
Copeland.
Tell me how you got. Tell me how you got the information.
Listen.
Tell me how you got the information, then we can go ahead and go forward.
I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is this. I was told, and I hope this concerns the court.
It concerns me that you have proprietary information.
Why is it
or
proprietary?
information that you should not be having that was ex parte?
Why?
With a party?
Why?
State of Georgia.
How about the witness? How about Mr. Copeland, who supposedly announced he's not testifying and he'll sit for 2 years, and then supposedly this honorable court,
Okay.
or excuse me, let me rephrase that. This court supposedly said, I can hold you until the end of this trial. Ms. Hilton supposedly said, actually, all of the defendants and then all 26 people are disposed of. If that's true, what this is coercion, witness intimidation, ex parte communications that we have a constitutional right to be present for. So I understand that you're upset towards me, but I don't know what I did.
Mr. Steele, I still want to know, how did you come upon this information? Who told you?
What I want to know is, why wasn't I there? Why,
Sir, I'm going to hold you in contempt if you don't tell me who this. Tell me who this information was
I don't want to
coming
be
from.
held in contempt.
Well,
I'm not
then-
answering that question. That's attorney-client privilege information. I am not.
Attorney-client privilege, unless you were in my chambers, that's the only way you can figure out.
I am
I
telling
tell you
you.
what, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me
Don't
who
have to.
if you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to put you. I'm going to put you in contempt because that is not attorney-client privilege.
Attorney work product privilege. I am not.
How did you get that information supposedly from my chambers? Did somebody tell you?
I'm not. You should have told me. You got 5 minutes. Well, I don't need it. I want to continue. This is what I was told. Mr. Copeland made statements that he admitted to killing Donovan Thomas. Don't take my notes. No.
Wow. Wow. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens to a court when you let a cancer grow. And that cancer, that tumor, is the district attorney. The district attorney. I apologize for the interruption. I'm mobile here, so I'm not in my studio. So this is raw. I'm just literally reacting. You're getting right now an unedited raw version. That is what happens when you allow a cancer, which is the district attorney. Remember what the Pitbull Steve Sadow says, supposed to be held to the highest standard, the highest level of impropriety. This is impropriety with a capital I. This is Fulton County. This is the same district that wants to charge a former president of the United States with election interference. This is the same district that has the district attorney, Fannie Willis, who just got reelected in the primary, who has lied under oath, stolen from youth, misappropriated taxpayer funds, and when the whistleblower came out, fired her and had her escorted, who we had on the show, by the way, escorted by 7 security guards. This poor woman who probably weighs less than 110 pounds, escorted by 7 security guards. Forfeiture funds, misappropriation of forfeiture funds to take up vacations with her lover, having an affair with a married man who she assigned as a special prosecutor to pay him an exorbitant amount of money, who was unqualified. First time in 20 years that entire district ever hired a special prosecutor. Just so happened to be her ex-lover, Nathan American Pie Wade. And then lied under oath, committed felony perjury, lied under oath about when that relationship began. And the list goes on and on and on. This is what happens when didn't earn it, DEI takes over any entity, any organization, especially something that is supposed to be sanctity. The sanctity, one of the most hallowed areas of our republic, the judicial system. I would love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Holy macadamia nut. We need to maybe watch that over and over again. Make sure you tap that thumbs up because it only takes you a nanosecond. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Again, thank you so much for understanding and indulging. I am on the road traveling, so I'm not in my home studio. I love you guys so much. Check out the pinned comment in the comments below, the description and show notes, and subscribe to our free newsletter. Absolutely free. Just put your email in there and you're all set. God bless you, and may God bless America. I'll talk to you soon. I can't wait to see your reaction. Wow. Wow.
Thought Santino.
No honor amongst thieves. So it was brought up about how it's waking a bunch of the normies up. See, that's he touched on an important part when he said that the judicial system is hallowed grounds in a lot of way. They are supposed to be above reproach for everything else. They have mastered themselves so that way they cannot be corrupted, right? They are supposed to be as close to incorruptible as a human being can be, understanding that they are surrounded by a sea of corruption and corrupt people. But what we're finding is that it's not as hallowed of grounds as we originally thought they were. And this is waking up the normies. There are very brilliant people who we would call normies, but they have to see it in this specific format. It has to be played out in the court systems. They have to watch the arguments. They have to basically watch court TV until they wake up. And then those group of people will wake up and they will say, this nothing is the way it's supposed to be. Welcome to the club, right? You now see it. Good. We're going to need your help moving forward. So encourage people to continue watching this, because I don't know if it could be scripted any better to wake up the people who are still stuck in the mindset that everything has been going above board, that everything is good, that there are no problems with the system. The system is good, the safest and most secure election ever. And the courts would have certainly fleshed it out. Initially, a lot of people couldn't see it, that they were dismissing cases without any reason to be able to dismiss cases. And now they have to see it play out in the courts. Oh my God, there's a lot of corruption there. The election was stolen in Georgia. Was it stolen anywhere else? This is the kind of thing that will get people to wake up. So encourage people, keep watching what's going on. I applaud you for doing that, because those people will find their way to the light at a certain point in time. I will say an overwhelming majority of them, but they need to see it play out. And these people, as it continues, as these little dominoes, and these are the little dominoes at this point in time, as these little dominoes start to fall, they're going to take each other out, because it's think of it like musical chairs. The person without a seat after the music stops is the person that gets out. And there's going to be a lot of missing seats here real soon. And there's going to be a lot of people that are just, left standing once the music stops. And those people are going to get taken out. And as those people get taken out and they get sent to jail, oh, but I have all of this information ready to cut deals. All of the little techniques that were used, that they encouraged to, deprive people of sleep, to deprive them of food, to put them in a cell for, so many hours before they can talk to anybody. They'll get to experience the same court system and the legal process that they put everybody else through, like the rest of us regular schmoes. And once they get put through, they'll crack. They don't have the strength to do it. That's why they put other people through it. And so the truth will start coming out like a flood soon. And I think that this is great. Like this is good to watch. Like this is what people need to see. And the normies definitely need to be paying attention to this, because they're going to end up getting themselves awakened by the truth as they're watching how corrupt it is. At a certain point in time, they're going to wake up and say, wow, this is really corrupt. Oh my God, the election was stolen. It's going to happen. And this is how it happens.
And the truth shall set ye free.
It'll set all of them free. And then they'll start doing the rest of the research. Oh my God, how deep does this go? How far does this go? It's going to happen. I don't see, Aaron, I don't think it's already been flooding out. I think we're still in the drip phase. These are still drips, because but they're big drips, they're big drops, right? And these things are going to start leading to other bigger things. But once the flood happens, that's when, like, even with Hunter Biden, right? So
I
he's
got something about that.
you got something about that. He may be guilty, but apparently he's not going to be going. Like one of the jurors has already said on CNN that they don't want Hunter to go to jail, and it's like, because there was nobody harmed in the whole thing, and it's like, did you pay attention to anything that was in his laptop at all? And you're going to sit here and say that nobody was harmed, that there was victimless crimes? No, that's not the case. These are not victimless crimes. And so we have to redefine everything that has been redefined. And we have to redefine everything back to the original definition.
Absolutely, Jenny.
The truth will set you free, but may first piss you off. Boy, isn't that the truth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Amen.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Yeah.
I got some Kelly.
All right. We could use some Kelly.
I know. We've had a lot going on, so we're gonna have some Kelly.
All right.
Today, I'm going to share some biblical truth with you. Truth I wished I had learned a long time ago. Truth that has literally changed my life, and I know it'll do the same for you. 1, trusting God and trying to please God are not the same path. In fact, they're opposites. God never asked you to please him. He asked you to trust him. Trying to please him is based on your efforts. Trusting is based on his. And the best part is, when we're trusting him is when he's most pleased with us. 2, the devil's only attacking you because he sees you as a threat. He is terrified of what God placed inside of you. So he will do everything in his power to make sure you never figure it out. But hey, you just did. 3, no man is your friend. No man is your enemy. Every man is your teacher. 4, the devil can't steal what belongs to you by divine right, but you can give it to him anytime you choose. So don't do that. 5, you are in right standing with God right now, not at some later date when you get rid of your sin. If you could have got rid of your sin by now, you would have, but you can't, but Jesus can. You see, you're in right standing with God right now because of what Jesus did. Nothing you can do could ever get you there. So realize, own, and enjoy the position that Jesus died to give you. 6, I know somebody told you that God will never give you more than you can handle, but the truth is, God will often give you way more than you can handle. So stop thinking he gave you this because you can handle it. You can't. He's allowing this because he knows you can't handle it, and he wants you to press into him. We need to let him use these things in our life to build you and shape you and mold you and make you into who he's called you to be. 7, the Bible is not just a list of rules. Stop avoiding it because you don't want to read about one more thing you're not allowed to do. Every single word in this book brings freedom, peace, and fulfillment. Start seeing it as the greatest love letter ever written, a love letter from God to you, because that's exactly what this is. 8, the disciples did not drive a Honda, even though the Bible says they all came in one accord. 9, being buried and being planted looked the exact same for a season. Stop walking away from what God asked you to do because you think it's dead. Try staying planted and grow some roots. Remember, you plant a seed, not a tree. Let God grow some things in your life. 10, expectation is the cup that God will fill up. Start expecting God to provide, heal, restore, and work through you every single day in amazing ways. But always remember, the expectation needs to be on who, not how, when, or what, because expectation is the cup that God will fill up. 11, try to live with the mindset that I've got a lot to teach, but so much more to learn. 12, stop giving up and quitting when life gets hard. Let go instead. Quitting is an act of despair. Letting go is an act of trust. Quitting is you giving up on God's plan. Letting go is trusting God's plan, even when it looks completely ridiculous. 13, stop praying for victory and start praying from victory, because Jesus bought that for you. 14, repentance doesn't mean being ashamed and crying about it. Repentance is when you change your mind and your life follows your new direction. You see, repentance doesn't happen when you cry. Repentance happens when you change. 15, the reason we never read about Jesus riding any bicycles in the Bible is because he breaks every chain. He breaks every chain. He really does. 16, every single promise in the Bible is yes and amen over your life, but they aren't automatic. You actually have to go get them and speak them over your life. Give it a try. It's incredible. 17. Don't get mad when you do have faith, but it feels like the mountain isn't moving. You see, God may be moving it one rock at a time. 18. You can't have fear and faith at the same time because they both want the same thing from you. They both want you to believe something that hasn't happened yet. Now, which one you choose to let live rent-free in your mind, that's up to you. 19. Hiding sin doesn't make you feel better or help it go away. Exposing it does. 20. Because you have Jesus living in you, you are the light of the world. A flashlight does no good in a well-lit room. If you want to see your light become effective, you have to take it out of the church and walk in to the darkness. 21. The thief on the cross next to Jesus was not Paul's dad. That is not what he meant when he said, my old man was crucified with Christ. Come on, you guys are just silly. 22. If the Bible tells us Jesus didn't come to condemn anyone, what makes you think he gave that job to you? 23. A man with an experience is never at the mercy of a man with an argument. So stop arguing the Bible with people. In Revelation, it tells us we overcome by the blood of the Lamb. That's Jesus. And the word of our testimony. That's your story. So go out and use it. 24. Go out each day and make a difference. Stop trying to make a living. If your goal every day is to just go to a job so you can provide for yourself, your wife, your kids, your family, you've just taken God's job away from him. He is your provider, not your boss, not your spouse, not your parents, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all things will be provided to you. 25. You don't have to build your identity in Christ. You simply need to believe it. 26. Don't fall from grace, fall with grace. And last, but definitely not least, it's all about love. Love covers a multitude of sins. Love always trusts. Love isn't self-seeking, self-motivated, or self-made. We can only truly love others after we've accepted and received the love of our Father. You see, he doesn't have love. He is love. It's not a coincidence that the letters L-O-V-E are in the word revolution, because that's exactly what it's going to take to truly change this world for Jesus. Go and think about that for a minute.
I love Kelly.
Thoughts, Santino?
All right, there was a lot going on there.
I know.
Yeah, there was a lot to unpack there. There's no way I'm going to go through all 20 of them. Let's see.
26,
26
but
of them. Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
I know.
Trusting versus pleasing. I think that's probably the most important distinction. Like the burnt fat off of the liver of the sacrificed animals was a pleasing aroma to God, right? But we're not trying to please God. That's why we don't do those things anymore.
Right.
We don't have the sacrifices. Those sacrifices, they may create a pleasing aroma to the Lord, but that's not what he wants from us, because in the end, it's not fixing much of anything. Right.
Right.
It was supposed to be something that would hurt, I got to give, like a part of my flock away to sacrifice, like a tithe almost. Right. So the tithing, it may be pleasing, but it's not necessarily what he wants. He wants us to trust in him. And so this goes back to the going through trials, having hard times, all those other kinds of things. It's that we need to trust. He brought up the fact that a lot of people say God won't give you more than you can handle. Actually, he is going to give you more than you can handle. And it's going to be shown to you how well you're not doing it when you're trying to do it all on your own. So with that being said, we have to learn how to let go and let God. God is still writing your story. Stop trying to steal the pen. He's got the story. So that's how we can show our trust in God, and that will be pleasing to him. And I think that was a great distinction that he was bringing up, is like he wants us to trust him, and that will please him. So the best thing we can do is let him take that control. And that's something that we all have hard time with. We feel I've been given these gifts and capabilities, let me use them. But we try to do it our own way. Our ego gets in the way. And so we have to make our ego get out of the way and figure out where we can fit in, as opposed to making the situation fit us. And so that's kind of an important part. And I think that Yeah, post that one.
I will.
Yeah. And so I think that that's where a lot of it boils down to is we need to figure out where we can fit into the scenario as opposed to making the scenario fit us. And it's a difficult task at times, but when we're doing that, we grow, and it's our growth that we're looking for. It's our growth that he is looking for. So, yeah, it's a trust fall.
It is. Exactly. It absolutely is.
Not to be all corporate weenie about the whole thing, but
Yeah.
it's a trust fall.
Mhm. And ego
Is not your amigo. Exactly.
Mm-mm. Exactly. So it is in the mob chat. So
Thank you.
I say everyone should. I've watched it a couple times and probably could watch it a couple more because there is a lot of information.
It's something probably should watch a couple of times just out of the sheer reason of trying to process all that information and what that means to you individually.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
I got some Don Jr.
Junior.
Hey guys, Hunter Biden guilty on all 3 charges, but it's a decoy. Remember, Biden's DOJ allowed the statute of limitations to expire on the tax charges, the bribery charges, the allegations of other things, the FARA violations, the foreign government stuff, because all of those things tied back to Joe Biden. This is the decoy that they're using to make it seem like there's equal justice under the law. They went after him for the lesser charges. Sure, you're going after Hunter. Sure we are. Just not for all of the things that were such bigger crimes, such more of a reality that all tied back to Joe Biden and the rest of the family. This is the decoy that they can say there's equal justice under the law, but it's all nonsense. Don't go for it. Don't let them sell you it. Understand exactly what's happening.
Thoughts, Santino?
So, yeah, that couldn't be much more apparent at all. Like, okay, he got convicted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, nothing's going to happen to him. And they let all of the, like he said, they let all of the statutes of limitation expire on these things.
Yeah, it had on Trump too, but they did that for, a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to open this up.
Yeah. And so they're trying to make it look like there's, blind justice, but that's not true. But the good thing is I don't think that there's any statute of limitations on treason.
No.
Or conspiracy to commit treason.
No.
So, yeah, everybody that touched that thing and kept it from seeing the light of day doesn't look good for you in the future. And that's why they are going to fight until their last breath, because the punishment for treason is their last breath. And so that's why everything is playing out in such slow motion right now, is because if we were try to do this in a quick door kicker kind of way, it would be ugly. Yeah, exactly, Jenny. There needs to be a lot of rope here coming up soon. But the good thing is that they're recyclable. So maybe we don't need as much as we think. Now, with that being said, I believe that the true bad people, the ones that were doing it because they were gaining something out of it, those people will be caught. The people who just got wrapped up in it because they got blackmailed and they didn't have a choice, I think that we're already, I think that we already know who those people are. And I think a lot of them have turned state's evidence at this point in time.
I agree with Chachi.
That they're already all pinched or all already pinched. I think that they have been too. There's, even Oprah Winfrey went down with some kind of a stomach something or other now. So she's disappearing yet again. So we'll find out what happens with Oprah. Since when do billionaires have all these issues?
I know. So Bethany says?
Bethany says some crimes have what is known as a statute of limitations. This means someone can no longer be prosecuted for certain crimes after a certain period of time. This is not true of treason. Thank you. A person can be charged with treason at any point in time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, the medical boots. And see, Aaron, that's a good point. Is we saw these boots here for quite some time now. Oprah,
Everyone had one.
yeah, Oprah was one of the boot wearers. And now that she's having some issues, are we going to see a change in Oprah?
We've already seen it
Yeah.
change.
So are we going to see another change? Like what exactly is going on with her that she's
Yeah.
going to bow out for a period of time? But I think at the same time, this is quiet communications. If we're going to go with if the conspiracy theorists are right, that they're being tried and punished in the background, this I would assume would be some kind of a communication to those who are in the know, that when somebody has some kind of ailment and they disappear for a while, it states that they've probably gone to the next phase of they are in court or they have been found guilty or whatever the case may be. And that would be soft whisper kind of communications. And those things would be for like I said already, the people who are already in the know. Bethany says you can't have a boot.
No,
and
you can have a
oh,
boot.
you can have a boot and you can have a boot. Everyone gets a boot. Yeah, exactly. I think that boots have been handed out to a lot of people, and those lot of people, we'll see how it plays out.
Exactly.
Curious about Brad Pitt.
I know. You ready?
Yeah.
So if you've been watching the news recently, you've heard about all the elections that just went on in the EU. And according to every American media outlet, it's a far-right domination. According to CNN, MSNBC, they're all telling you that the far right is taking over Europe. But that's not what happened. Far right isn't taking over anything. That's just a scare tactic to make you worry about what's happening in the world. Do you understand what the far right actually means when you're talking about it in the context of Europe? Like, take Marine Le Pen, for example. She's the leader of the far-right party in France that just took power. Now, you probably think she supports some really crazy shit being on the far right. No, she's a feminist, supports energy diversification for her country through renewable energy sources. She supported welcoming Ukrainian refugees during the war. She opposed Hamas and believes that Israel has a right to exist. She also believes her country shouldn't be allied with nations who fund terrorism like Qatar. She's opposed to globalization. She believes France should continue to operate as an independent nation while also being a part of the greater EU. She just doesn't believe that organizations outside of the EU, part of the global government, should have any control. Now, she is in favor of temporarily shutting down immigration, as well as taking away the benefits that they give to immigrants so they stop incentivizing them to come to France. But that's about the most radical position she has. Like in America, Marine Le Pen would be like a moderate Democrat or a moderate Republican. She wouldn't be on the far right or the far left. But that's the label they apply to her because they want to scare you. But no, what actually happened in the EU was a bunch of moderates took power. That's it. Please don't be thrown by the media's use of the far right term. Moderates won the elections in the EU. Ooh, scary.
Thoughts, Santino?
He brings up the point that we were kind of discussing earlier. They're redefining everything. They're redefining what far right is. The far right to be really progressive from just 15 years ago, 20 years ago, right? And so this is their attempt to still maintain some portion of the narrative. And it's up to us. Yeah, moderates are monsters. It's up to us to make sure that people understand what freedom really is. It's been a long time since there were people that were very much protective of their property and that which is theirs. The old school version of a conservative is long gone. Like I worry that a lot of people won't even be able to figure out what a real conservative is. But with that being said, it's about going back to the original documents. They can try to redefine everything all they want. Thank you, Denise. Much appreciated. Yeah, same bird, two wings off of the same bird. That's what they're trying to do. But with that being said, we, the people who understand what the original intent of the Constitution is, what they were trying to tell us in the Declaration of Independence, and how that plays out through history, and how we got to that point, will explain to us how we can move forward in the future with much more traditional values. And those traditional values can be found in the same place that our founding fathers found them in, and that was in the Bible. It is just like it says in the Bible, it is unchanging. God is unchanging. He doesn't change his mind. This is what he says is good. This is what he says will be allowed. This is what he says is acceptable. He may not like it, but he allows certain things. Now, with that being said, the closer we're able to create a society that's based off of those principles provided for in the Bible, then we will be able to have something that will work and function the way the United States was always intended to work. And so don't worry about what their definitions are. We need to understand what the original definitions were. Unlike the Webster's Dictionary of today, the original Webster's Dictionary was designed specifically to define words based off of how the Bible defined the words. And so we can define our own words because the Bible defines the words for us. So it's up to us to get that understanding, to get that level of knowledge, to be able to say, no, this is the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
And that's how it's going to work moving forward in the future.
Oh, I
So
agree with that.
yeah, don't worry about how they define things and about how they're trying to shift the narrative as to what far right is or what far left is. No, it is our biblical understanding of things and how that applies to the documents that were the founding documents of this nation that was founded with the divine providence that created the whole thing to begin with.
Exactly. You ready?
Yeah.
Got Jack.
Hey, fuckers.
So here are the top reasons I absolutely hate the modern Democrat Party. No morals. Your party literally runs on the idea that morality is subjective and we all need to open our minds to all kinds of craziness, usually involving children. Let me go ahead and stop you right there, Lefty. I know your pre-programmed brain just said, what about the priest? But listen, everybody on the right thinks all of those people should be chucked in a wood chipper. They don't call them maps and demand they get respected. Zero accountability. You guys have been wrong about damn near everything over the last decade, but rather than owning your shit and saying, you know what, I was wrong here, you always try to find a way to talk your way out of it. Non-stop double standards. What's good for the goose is not, in fact, good for the gander in your worldview. One quick example out of the countless examples I could give you, both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton were accused of using money to further their campaign and documenting it as legal expenses. Trump just got convicted of 30-some felonies. Hillary Clinton had to pay an $8,000 fine, and most of you guys don't even remember it. Modern Democrat Party is rampant with racism, homophobia, transphobia, anti-Semitism. Despite your pretty talking points, if anybody fits in any of those categories and they disagree with you politically, they are treated like second-class citizens and called the most god-awful names. Projection. You guys take your deepest, darkest thoughts and you project that onto everybody around you, and then you expect everybody around you to somehow make amends for your inner feelings. And finally, you're all puppets for the globalists and you don't even realize it. See, while you guys are busy trying to pull the Overton window as far left as you can possibly go, the people who are actually in control, those elitists you claim to hate, are simply using you like the useful idiots you are. You're never going to have a communist utopia. You're never going to live the socialist dream. The people who are actually in power just need you to destroy our constitutional republic so they can take over.
Thoughts, Santino?
I mean, the last part there pretty much sums up the whole thing. And I guess we were just talking about, I always forget to use the words Overton window, especially with what they were talking about, going on over in France. They're trying to shift the Overton window to say that, this is what far right is now. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Those people that can't see it, a lot of them will see it. Enough people are seeing it now that they will lose this election. A lot of people will probably start to wake up once Trump is back in office and things start to happen. Once things start to get fixed again, once we start to see the real judicial system work, we might see the military tribunals, and that's a very real possibility. And once that happens, it will be very clear as to what has really been going on. And that's how I kind of think this is going to play out. I don't think it's going to be, all overnight as soon as Trump gets into office. No, it's going to take a little bit of time. But with that being said, a lot of this certainly appears like a giant sting operation. Like we were talking about, they were giving out those cell phones to all of these illegals that have been coming across the border. Why would they give that out? Well, they already know that they're coming through all of these NGOs. We're going to find out which NGOs, which hotels, which all of these places they're going to, and they're going to find out who's connected with all of these people. Let's think about how Dinesh D'Souza did the mules. What was it?
2,000 Mules.
2,000 Mules movie, correct? So he did the 2,000 Mules, and just based off of the information that they were able to gather based off of cell phone GPS location data, we know that that cell phone goes to this place. Now, all of those people that have a cell phone in those locations, those are going to spread out. And so that way, instantly, you see the spider web. So by the time that they actually figured out that they don't want the cell phones to show up into those areas, it's too late. We already know. And so all of those people, boom, they've been caught. And so now they're watching all of these other people. And this is exactly how the FISA warrants work. And so as we're collecting all of this data, the boomerang is going to come back around and it's going to schwack them. They're all going to be found, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a bit of time. Also, we're going to have a lot of things that we have to work on simultaneously, like getting all of these illegal immigrants either out of the country, give them an option to get out of the country, or to try to apply through the INS, the Immigration and Naturalization Services, to actually become citizens. And then after a certain amount of time, what we'll probably see is that after this cutoff time, that now you are being hunted if you are here under some kind of illegal status, that they will capture you and put you through whatever system we come up with at that point in time. Things are going to change. It's just going to take a long time for it to happen. And we probably won't see too many of those one moments. There will be a lot of those one moments in the future.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to bring you my Giza Dream bed sheets for the best offer ever. We're all experiencing unprecedented rising prices, but I was able to secure a limited amount of Giza cotton for a great price, and I'm going to pass those savings directly on to you. Get my Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98 with your promo code. They're the most luxurious sheets ever, made with the world's finest cotton. Grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River, where the weather conditions are perfect for growing cotton. My sheets are ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. I guarantee they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 50% on my Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.98. Quantities are extremely limited at these amazing prices, so please order now.
So, got something to say about the Giza sheets?
A Giza sheet about the Giza sheets.
They are amazing.
They are amazing. As a matter of fact, they are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had. And now that that's been taken care of, I recognize how awful the bed we have is. It's a glorified air mattress. I'm not going to give a name, but I'm pretty sure that y'all can figure out what a glorified air mattress company might be. Now, with that being said, the sheets are very comfortable. They're very solid. They're very sturdy. And they just hold together very well. They're very well put together. I really do love everything that we have received from MyPillow. It is a great company. and the man is fighting for this country as best as he knows how.
Very much
And I can
so.
support that. So if nothing else, check out mypillow.com/DTOO. See if there's something that maybe it's time. There's more than just the sheets or the pillows.
Yes.
There's tons of things there. People are always saying how much they love this or that or the other thing. May as well try out one thing and see if it's worth your while. And if it makes a difference, if you recognize that the quality is significantly better, then by all means, no, it's not heart-shaped, F. Glenn. We have a normal bed. It's not so Vegas.
No.
But anyways, try out one item from My Pillow. That's the only thing I'd say. If you've never tried out anything My Pillow, try it out. The My Pillow 2.0 is better than the first My Pillow. But once you recognize the quality, once you see the quality, I think that you'll fall in love and you'll want to try more and more things.
I agree, Aaron.
Better pricing than last year than our local Walmart, and better stuff delivered to your door. And thank you,
Yes.
Aaron, because that is an excellent point.
And the towels are still on sale.
So he has good sales, and it comes right to your doorstep. They're a good company. They follow through. And I would say great, excellent customer service. So without a doubt, check out mypillow.com/DTOO. Help out Mike Glendell, and it gives us makes it look like we, are able to help companies somehow.
Exactly.
Helps us out in the long run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna love it, but this is really good information.
Well, I love good information.
A large number of the jokes in most of our popular magazines where they print cartoons have to do with father as a clown, whereas mom has to handle the real problems of the family and is therefore the realist in the picture. Dad is a clown. Why? Because he goes away to a mysterious place called the office of the factory, in which the family as such have no part and no real interest. He brings back a thing called money, and they want more of it, see, back at home. They don't care how you get it, just so long as you bring it back, because they're not interested in what you as a man do. And when you come back from the various rat races in which you are engaged making money, you're supposed to be a good pal to the children. Play with them, look after your wife, and appreciate what she's done all during the day. But they have no interest in what you do. They couldn't care less. And furthermore, you as a father, you as a mother, are expected to live for your children. Americans have an enormous sense of guilt because they have not done right by their children. And they're trying more and more to do right by their children. The difficulty is that the family as an institution is not surviving in industrial culture. It is an institution designed for an agrarian culture. It's fascinating to notice today the transition from agrarian to industrial culture in a country like Japan, where it's been extremely rapid. Let's take the craft of carpentry in Japan. The Japanese have been some of the best carpenters in the world. Absolutely marvelous. Knowing how to make the most complex joinery constructions without even using a blueprint. Doing it by feel and by eye. In order to train a person to do this kind of carpentry, he has to begin to learn when he's 7 years old. But as it is now, because Japan has transferred to being an industrial culture, you may not bring up your child in your profession as a carpenter. You have to send the child to school where it can learn to be an insurance salesman. The child gets through school, goes through high school. When the child gets out, it's not interested in carpentry, it's interested in girls. Has to fool around with that for a while and then get married and then begin to learn the carpenter's trade, and it's too late to be anything but somebody who follows a blueprint. Therefore, this marvelous craft, which the Japanese cultivated for centuries, is being lost. For what? The The man in the family has to go away and earn a living that has absolutely no relation to his living relationship with his wife and his children. And therefore, naturally, he's regarded as a clown. When he comes home, he's not really a very good pal to his children, because the children would find a real relationship with their father in joining in his work with him. Every little child wants to join in his parents' work. They go into the kitchen. They would much rather play with the pots and pans than anything else. They want to help. They naturally want to join in, but they cannot. And therefore, instead of being allowed to join in with the real work of their parents, they are given propitiatory objects called toys. You may have a toy stove. You may have toys, dolls, and pretend that they're babies. You may not actually look after the baby because there might be an accident. And the children are not satisfied with this. They are absolutely frustrated with it because all these toys fall apart in a hurry. They don't really work. They don't do what's expected of them. They are not real. And the child knows they're not real. And so as the whole educational process continues, they are educated for unreality, for non-entity. So this is what we do. We send a child into kindergarten, make him literate, more or less, run, spot, run. And then the inducement is, if you learn this, you'll get into first grade. Wowee, if you do well there, you get into second grade. And so some of the kind of a come on. See? You'll go through the step-by-step educational process. There's going to be a big event when you get out of grade school, you go to high school. The pace is coming on now, see? And you're going to get step-by-step up through high school because of something at the end of the line. You haven't got it yet. There's a thing coming. Go to college. Whew, made it that far. And step-by-step you go on, and you get to graduate school. But if you don't get into graduate school so that you can just stay in the academic scheme of things, you go into business. That's getting out into the world. That's graduation. See, now you're an adult. But then the first thing is you get into a sales meeting where they say is make that quota. And if you do, they're going to give you a higher quota. And if that thing is at the end of the line, it's there, and all the advertisements say, well, by the time you earn this and get that, you'll be able to have the right kind of car, the right kind of speedboat, the right kind of track lot, the right kind of clothes and everything, the right kind of drinks. And you'll be there. And finally, you work along at this, you're earnest, and about the year 45, you end up as vice president of the company. You say, I've arrived. I'm there. But I feel vaguely cheated because I feel just the same as I always felt. I'm there, but I haven't caught up with that thing I was always promised. And suddenly an insurance man comes around and says, wait a minute. You're going to retire at 65. We got a program for you so that you'll be just right. When you're 65, you'll be able to drop all this business and do what you really want to do. That time you're not interested. Prostate trouble, bad teeth. So you end up feeling you've been cheated. And the reason was simply this, that education was regarded as a process of preparation for something which never happened, never is going to happen. But you were always getting prepared for life. A real education is an entirely different thing. And education, in the real sense, is not preparation for life. It is actually living. It is the child participating in adult concerns and doing it now and realizing that the point of the process in which the child is engaged is not to prepare the child for the future, but to enjoy doing the thing today. Because the whole point is that there is no point whatsoever in making plans for the future, except for those people who are capable of living in the present. If you are not capable of living in the present, plans are useless. Because when those plans come to fruition, you will be incapable of enjoying that fruition. But it seems to me that the absolute point of any educational system that has any worth whatsoever is the progressive allowing of children to participate in activities that adults consider real and important. And that should begin very early. Supposing you are making money in a factory, producing something worthless and trashy, but it pays. And you justify this on the grounds that it will give you money to bring up your children to do something better than you are doing. You are fooling yourself. Because your child will copy you. And if you exist simply to bring up your children to something better than you have, then your children will do nothing but exist to bring up their children to do something better than they have. And they'll always be frustrated. If, on the other hand, you are doing something in life, you have a vocation, a work which you're doing, which you are really interested in and which you thoroughly enjoy. And it's this that you live for, and not for your children. Then your children will catch your enthusiasm. And they, in turn, will find something that they can live for and be really interested in, and in turn, their children will become interested in it. You should not live for the good of your children. You should live for your own good. And then your children will learn from your example how to live. A large number of the jokes in...
So thoughts, Santino.
I could talk about this for days. I really could talk about this for days. So let's see. Have to live for yourself. It's an interesting concept, but it's very true. We have to live for God, then we have to live for ourselves, then we have to live for our spouse, and then our children come after that. And it sounds kind of counter that we're supposed to make our children the most important things in our lives. But really, if you think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's nothing in there about your kids. It's about self-actualization. You have to actualize yourself. You have to become successful with yourself so that way you can feel that joy and happiness. That way you can get in that state of flow, right? So he brought up the example of the Japanese carpenters. Amazing carpenters, amazing woodworking skills. Absolutely love the things that they do. I've learned so much by just seeing how they do things, understanding how that form of carpentry works, and it makes some of the most beautiful things. But the problem is that people aren't, like, they took shop class out of school, so they destroyed that entire section of education, real education, things that human beings do. Carpentry goes back how long? Building, tables and
Jesus was a
chairs,
carpenter.
right? Well, it goes back even further than
I
that.
know.
People were building chairs and furniture and houses since mankind. Shelter is one of the most important things that we as human beings need. So wood class needs to go back into school, and these crafts, these trades, those are just as important. But the problem is that we got the whole Wall Street movie mentality of Gordon Gekko.
Greed is good.
Greed is good. And you know what? To an extent, being able to have something as some kind of a motivation to do more is a good thing. But it's not greed. Greed isn't the good part.
Right.
But being rewarded for doing good work is important. And that is another thing that they've taken away from us. And so the people that have been carpenters for many generations, and really, if you think about it, a lot of the British names, Carpenter, Thatcher, let's see, they have, let's see, I know the Germans have Schumacher, which is a cobbler, basically. I think cobbler is another last name. All of these last names, they were, what people did. That was their profession. And they probably did it better than anybody else because they had a natural propensity for it. And these are the things that we've gotten away. This is what modern mentality has done. And we need to be able to celebrate this because there are people who are just natural carpenters, and they should be paid just as much as somebody at the same level that does a different profession, right? Just because somebody's really good at the military doesn't mean that they shouldn't be taken care of just the same as everybody else. Why is somebody that plays a childhood game making millions of dollars each and every year? What's so important about these bread and circuses? I mean, these professional sports. other than the fact that it keeps people entertained.
Exactly.
And that's what they want us to forget. They want us to forget the things that we do. That's why the tell lie vision is one of the worst things for us. Can we use it for good? Yes, we can use it so that way we can watch videos on how to do a craft that we naturally have the ability to do things with. You know, maybe your thing is making bells and you understand the design and how to create that mold and you can make bells. Well, you know what? Making bells could be something very important. It's something that they did in the past. We understand that the bells were also used to help change the vibration of the town. These are the things. This is what the art of what people's craft is. Oh, I thought you were pointing at that.
No, it was a thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know that it does go back to Rome.
Rome, Greece. Well, it goes back to the beginning
Because I've
of
heard you talk
governance.
about it for so long.
Yeah, it is Panem et Circenses is Latin, which is Romans. The Romans probably just gave it a name, whereas people just understood what it was before. Yes, cymatics being the use of sounds to create healing energies for people, and so these are the things that are important, and these are the things that we need to get back to. And if somebody is self-actualized and these are the things they do, their children will naturally be drawn to that. Oh, can I do this? Yes, you can. And therefore you have that natural talent, you have that natural ability, and it's something that's fostered. It's something that's, you know, you get to do it at a young age, and then you're able to do something even more magical than what your parents could do. And that's how we help our kids, is by being true versions of ourselves. And
authentic.
Yeah, authentic. Authenticity is always key. And that's what we're striving for. And that's what we will get back to, so long as we don't take them continuing to shift the Overton window and let them define what we as citizens of this country are capable of doing. Everything will fall into place. We just have to be authentically Americans and authentically us.
Exactly. Are you ready?
Yes.
One of my favorite quotes till this day: God will put you back together in front of those who broke you.
Okay, Santino.
God will put you back together in front of those who broke you. That's on an individual basis, but I also believe that it's on a national basis as well. These royals from Europe and wherever else around the world, these people that deem themselves better than the rest of us, that don't understand what a citizen is. We will be put back together as a nation. It is happening. It may be slow, but the more people that wake up to the truth, the more people that turn to God, God will then put us back together, and he will put us back together in front of those people who tried to keep us down. And these are the things that we need to keep our heart focused on, is recognizing that God has a plan, that God is going to get us there. We have to do our part for it by walking the walk, not just talking the talk. And then at that point in time, God will put you back together individually. He will put all of us back together as individuals, but at the same time, he will put us all back together as citizens of one nation that's under God. And that one nation that's under God will take its rightful place back amongst the world stage as a peaceful nation that has the best merchants in the world, that has the best craftsmen, that has the best of everything. St. Francis Assisi, he said, a laborer works with his hands, a craftsman works with his hands and his head, and an artist works with his hands, his head, and his heart. And so once we're able to open our hearts again, and that will happen as we draw closer to God. He will open our hearts. And once our hearts are open, we will all be artists. And that will show as the example for the rest of the world, the standard with which is set, that everybody else can live by. And that's what we strive for, and that's what we seek. And the best way we can do that is to work on ourselves, to get our own self-actualization, our understanding of who we are in this world around us with the God-given talents that we've been given. So that way we can show what we're capable of doing. Those are the things that will make the difference. And each and every one of you has that power within you. You just have to find it. Find out what that one thing is that you can do and follow through with that. And those are the things that will make the difference. And we will see this world change moment by moment, and just have that faith that you're doing what you're supposed to do. And that's all that matters.
Absolutely. That was amazing.
Thank you.
That was so amazing.
This has been an amazing time.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So I guess did you have any seasoning for that?
No.
No?
There's
Okay.
no way I could have did that.
Oh, stop.
That
You could
was
always add
amazing.
something.
That was amazing.
Anyways, well, we appreciate each and every one of you, and we thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a moment and hit that thumbs up button over on Rumble and YouTube. Take that red pill over on Pilled. Smash that heart over on X.
Whoops.
We love you guys so very much. And remember, sharing is caring. And we really do love doing this for you guys. If I'm not, this gives me joy, and cooking gives me joy. And
Yep.
that's what's important to me.
She loves cooking. Yes, as I try not to be 280 pounds. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you tomorrow. And really, we do appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining us tonight. We love you all. Have a great night. God bless and be safe.